jump into it here. I got Kendall Card and Justin Nelson on. They're the Filmmakers Choice award winners for our 2019 tour. Glad to have you guys on and chat a little bit about the film. This is our way late award show.
Yeah, no, thanks for having us on. It's awesome. What an honor. And for an honor for Justin. He's the filmmaker. It was a cool project that we, to embark upon for both of us.
Yeah, for sure. Kendall is one of those guys where you go to film and everything comes off super easy, and there's no, just the way he talks, he makes the story unfold in front of you. So it was pretty easy to gather all the footage and film that we needed to make the story come to to what it was.
One take wonder. It's always nice to have.
Yeah.
And we had no idea too, because Justin we'd never even stepped on. I mean, outside of meeting you in some at a show or something like that, we'd never even been in the mountains before. So I was like, oh man, I don't know how this is gonna go. And
yeah.
And I mean, I knew how rad Justin was, but I was like, it was kind of, well, we'll see what happens. And yeah, I mean, he met us at our camp. I think James and I were already there, or no, you were already there and we showed up, I think.
Yeah, I got there just a little bit before you guys.
So you mentioned James. He was the other hunter, and you had never hunted with him either, right?
Nope. And he and I worked together, and then we had talked about hunting a bunch, and then finally came together on that hunt. I was more interested in him killing a bull, because he'd never killed an elk before with his bow. And so he was I was hopeful that he would have killed and that I wouldn't have. I mean, if it was really came down to like someone killing and someone not, I was hoping that he would get a bull and that I wouldn't. But it just, unfortunately, it didn't pan out for him, and I missed as well. But it was a phenomenal week of hunting, that's for sure.
Yeah, their film, I don't know if I mentioned it, was a week in September. It was a Black Ovis film. Yeah, so it was just the three of you on the trip, right?
Yep, just the three of us. I was the chef, right, Justin?
That's right. I'm the guy that shows up with like nothing usually. So having Kendall at camp was awesome.
Yeah.
Having me as a guest was awesome. Just great food. All the meals were prepped, and we talked about going, backpacking in for a few days during the hunt, but after having Kendall's cooking and his little camper set up, it was hard to leave.
Yeah, I was like, man, I feel bad if you don't eat well, or if you come on this hunt with me. And so I kind of felt like responsible and plus I'm older than both these guys, so I can almost be James's dad. So I was like, I gotta care for these two kids before they before they starve to death out here. But yeah, it was awesome. It was a fun setup.
I've been on a camera guy in some hunts before and been given the heads up, make sure you pack enough food for yourself just in case, because you don't know about what's going to be provided. So that'd be awesome, sounds like.
Yeah, you definitely don't lose weight if you're hunting with me and we're hunting out of a base camp.
Good deal. I just have a couple questions here. You mentioned kind of who all was involved with the hunt. What kind of experience levels with filming a hunt did everyone have, being part of a project at least?
Well, I had never, I don't think I'd ever been filmed, so I'd never been on the other side of the camera, and it was really our goal. I mean, I thought it's going to be cool to have James and I hunt together, and he had never, I don't think he had been on film either. But obviously I knew Justin, and so, I mean, I have a ton of respect for the work he does. Like his filmmaking is, I mean, I think his storytelling and the way he films is just captivating. And it's enough of kind of the small stuff as well as the big moment, aspects that I was like, I want to make sure that so that's why I approached Justin and said, hey, would you be interested in filming this hunt? And maybe there's enough there that we can put a little film together. And so I had zero experience, but Justin, I mean, you can talk a little bit about what you've done in filming.
Yeah, I mean, this going into last year, we had been in the tour for the last 3 years. So last year made it 4. And we've had some good success on like the backcountry hunts and elk films. And I've filmed a few clients, you know, but nothing to submit a film to the Full Draw or any other film tours. But kind of when you're hunting in a group, like with Top Priority Hunting, it's kind of tough to do because you're shooter one day and then you pass the camera and then you're filming. But on this project, you know, I'm strictly the camera guy. So really the focus, I can get as much of the shots as possible. And like I said earlier, you know, the whole film was about like your 1 week in September and the risks that are involved, hunting with new people, going into, you know, say new areas. But so from the first few days of filming the hunt, you know, there was a few days where we had some hiccups working together, but by like day 2, it was like we had everything almost ironed out and stuff was just starting to roll. And these guys were super comfortable on film. And I would just point out a couple small pointers, you know, like, hey, say this again, you know, if I missed it, or it just flowed really well. And these guys, if we were to go film again, it would just like, I know we could make another top-notch film because it would be just like, I know them now and the comfortability of where everybody's at. It would work really well, and it did for us.
Yeah, the dynamic of a group, no matter what you're doing, it helps when everyone's getting along and things are flowing.
Yeah, and I would say too, like Justin, even though you're focused on being just a cameraman, like the rad thing was is there were a couple times where you would be like you would just start like kind of barking orders a little bit, like, and it wasn't for the film, it was just more for the hunt. Like you would notice like, oh, move up, or you would start cow calling like that one time when you were with James and I was bugling, but I hadn't moved with you guys as fast. I didn't know you guys were moving so fast up that canyon. So all of a sudden you went from filmmaker only to filmmaker / cow, you know, calling.
Yeah,
So but that was cool.
Hunting in a group for as long as we have, you really, my guys, I'm the boss, so I always give the orders out and can be a little harsh at times, but when it comes down to it, it's just experience in the field, knowing when you can move, knowing what sounds to make, and it helps. I mean, we were pretty successful, and I always try to throw out, you know, advice if I can, but mainly film. I mean, that's what I'm there to do.
Right.
It was cool because I could see he transitioned. It was like I watched the transition around day 2 where you went from basically tight lip, just, hey, I'm just going to be a fly on the wall filming, to, and really it became a group of 3 hunting. And that was what was super fun as it got later in it. And that's, I think it kind of created this, I mean, between Justin and I, like a really solid friendship that's persisted.
That's awesome. Heck yeah. Well, cool. Did you have any kind of a plan? Like, you know, when you're making a film, you're either just go to document it, or do you like lay something out? Like, let's try to do this, or this, or how'd that play out?
I've tried both, kind of like writing out a script as far as like, okay, let's go on this storyline, but we really didn't have much of a story like going into it. I mean, our main story was that Kendall and James had always talked about hunting together, and things had aligned where their schedules worked out, and we were going to go on this hunt, and we're going to be in awesome country and be an elk and just make some epic film. And, you know, after the edit portion of it, when we get back and we have all the footage, you can go so many different routes if you don't have that hard cut story, you know, whether it's you know, a sentimental film or something happens along the hunt, you know, somebody breaks a leg, or, you know, there's all those things that you could have, but most of the hunts that we go into to film, we're just documenting as much as we can, try to be, as cinematic as possible, and capture hunting behind the scenes more, say, than the actual hunt itself. And then those stories just kind of seem to roll into place. And me and Kendall had worked on this film and some ideas on how to go about, showing the ups and downs of hunting, because both the guys missed on day one, and then the epic pinnacle of the last day. And so it's just kind of a progress. You just look at your footage a lot and listen to a lot of music and tempos and just feel what the overall hunt is. And Kendall's really easy to lay out a voiceover and just like spiel out this epic saying, like a Matt Zinger style, but just really true. And so it was pretty easy once we had it nailed down to like, this is, anybody's week in September, and the time that you have is so valuable because we all have families and the timing, and everything. And you may have 6 terrible days of hunting, but you might have one epic day, and it just seemed to flow, and we fed off each other. And I sent them what I did for these guys is I edited like day 1 through 4, one day through 5, something like that, and just showed them kind of all the blocked out footage of what we had to work with, because it's different when they're not coming over to the house like with my crew and we're going all over our footage. It's you got to find an easier way to show these guys what you actually captured. And so I would make these short day videos and send them to them, so they kind of had a feel for what I had captured, and then we kind of just fed off each other and created the story.
Awesome. Yeah, it's what I've found doing a storyboard and stuff out and trying to make a plan beforehand with hunting is, you can have the best laid plans, and then the story unfolds in front of you, and just how you retell that is ultimately how it comes together. But yeah, you guys did an awesome job pulling it all together, and we're stoked to have it in the tour.
Yeah, I'm super honored. We've had, including this year's being in there again this year, just 4 or 5 films in the tour and being recognized as a Filmmakers Choice. It's pretty awesome to think 4 years ago, that was our top dream, to just make the Full Draw Film Tour, and to take an award from it is pretty awesome. It's a great feeling.
Yeah, and that award, we kind of put it together. So, the fans vote for their favorite film, and South 5-Foot Bull took that, but the Filmmakers Choice, it's your peers pick it, so it's all filmmakers voting on it, and so that's really something to hang your hat on. So congrats again on that.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm stoked for Justin, because it's sometimes the people's choice is based on something that you don't plan. South didn't plan to shoot a bull at 5 feet.
Yeah.
Almost like bugle and slobber all over him and then almost step on him. But and I'm South's a good friend, and kudos to him. And I'm super psyched that he had that experience and caught it all in film. And he's so gracious, I'm sure, in winning that. But I was super stoked, not for me or the film or Black Ovis, but I was like so pumped for Justin, because like you said, Jay, to have his peers, all these filmmakers that do a tremendous job, vote and say, hey, like Justin's work was the pinnacle in that selection. I was like, that it's well deserved. So congrats,
Yeah.
Justin. I'm way stoked for you on this award.
Just to kind of like throw a little bit of info on that, while we were hunting, it was like 4th day or something like that, South had sent Kendall kind of this mocked up trailer of this 5-foot bull. And so he showed me right then, and he's like, do you think we got enough, to make the tour? And that was before we killed his bull, so it was just like, oh man, I got to live up to this, And so to have South and ours get picked last year, that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, it was some pretty epic elk hunts for sure. Justin, you mentioned being in the 2020 tour again. Just want to touch on that. Hopefully we're kicking off here shortly, state of the world, but both of you are again part of the show this year. Guys trailers and stuff are out there, but if you want to elaborate on what you guys have in store for the fans a little bit here.
I guess I'll talk about ours. So I was I went elk hunting with, well, actually it started out as a deer hunt, turned into an elk hunt. I was the caller. I was along for the ride. It was with, Justin Long, who works for Crispy, US, and Jordan Budd was the filmmaker from Running Water Media, and she came along, and pretty cool hunt in Wyoming with Justin. It was he drew both tags, the elk archery and the rifled deer, and we were in an amazing zone that was just chock full of elk, and we were looking for deer. So it was a super fun film, and kind of a fun story, and I'm anxious to kind of see what people think of that.
So then last season I went with Pure Elevation, crew that's been in the tour a lot. I'm sure you guys have all seen them, but we went to Alaska on a caribou hunt. So that's called oh my gosh, it's been a while. True Alaska Experience. Yeah. So basically the highs and lows of Alaska and what you can experience, from getting delayed to bad weather to lots of caribou to no caribou. So it's an epic film with those guys. Got some awesome footage. And then I got contacted by Quinn Klein probably 6-7 months ago, and he told me this story over the phone of how he basically, him and his buddy Cody had this amazing friendship, and their whole goal and whole dream was to be in the Full Draw Film Tour. And they have this life experience that happens, and Cody's no longer with them, and it's just a super sad story. But Quinn goes out and he films the whole thing, and he reaches out to Top Priority Hunting. And when I listened to him over the phone, there was no doubt in my mind that I wanted to take it on. And it's one of those films that instantly, like, I have more emotion when I watch that than anything I've ever done. And it was really hard to edit, but it's so like I don't know what you call it. It makes you feel so good that you put all that effort into a film like that. I think it's one that people will really enjoy and really make you think about, your hunting partners in life. And so I'm really excited for that one. It's called Made for Mooney.
Yeah, no, both excellent films. All three, I guess. Got a lot of hands in the tour here, but thanks guys for jumping on here. Where can everyone track you down? Social media, whatnot.
So Top Priority Hunting, you can email us, toppriorityhunting@gmail.com. Our social media pages, Top Priority Hunting, Instagram, Facebook, and our YouTube channel.
Yeah, mine, we're just at Black Ovis, blackovis.com. And then, I know Justin doesn't play around a lot on the social media world by himself. So, but maybe I post every once in a blue moon, Kendall Card on Instagram. So, and I don't know, Justin and I are trying to team up for something this year. We'll see if we can pull it off. I drew an
schedule's open.
And I'm psyched for the reunion tour. I drew an archery only mountain goat tag here in Utah. Had like 5-6% chance of drawing, and got extraordinarily lucky. So Justin and I might be hanging out on a mountainside again this year.
Heck yeah, I look forward to it. All right, guys. Well, thanks. I'll put some links to the 2019 film a week in September for these people to check it out. And yeah, thanks again, guys, and we'll see you soon, hopefully on tour. Check out the hardware right there.
Well earned. Keep that thing on the mantle. That looks awesome.
Thanks, Jade.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
Thanks a ton, Jade.